Don't be alarmed, we're Negroes.
Hey, what's going on, Anime Real Talk TV? Your boy is back again, and this is going to be my video about Bleach. I'm going to be talking about the first half of the final arc and what I expect from when this series comes back. Now, by the time this video is up, Bleach may or may not be back up because as of right now, as I'm recording this, Type Kubo took a break on Bleach. He took like a month or a 2 month break, I'm not for sure. But he took a break because he wanted to go into the final arc with, a full mindset and very concentrated on his stuff. And I have mad respect for him for doing that. Because he took a break, after the whole Full Brain arc. And then he came back and he did the Quincy Invasion arc. And for the most part, it was really good. It had some hiccups, and I'm going to talk about those hiccups, but for the most part, the Quincy Invasion arc was really, really cool. I really liked it a lot. And it's funny how things have come full circle for me concerning like the big three, because a couple of years ago, you go back a couple of years ago, Bleach was in a really, really bad place. I mean, after the Soul Society arc, pretty much things just went downhill. A lot of people dropped the series to never return, and I was even willing to drop it because Bleach was my favorite out of the big three when it first came over here to America, and it was just really sad to see the series go downhill in quality. You had such great stuff, and then it just seemed like Kubo lost his spark, and you could tell. I mean, just really, really dumb things were happening. Characters not being killed off when they should have been dead. Just really, really poorly done character stuff, and unmeaningful fights, and just you weren't invested in the characters, and the story was really lackluster. And the villain Aizen, I just got so sick of him. I'm just like, yeah, just end the series after this whole thing. But he came back and he did his thing. And like I said, the fact that he's taking another break off, a long break, to come back and do the best that he can with the series, like I said, mad respect. As an up and coming artist myself, as a person who wants to get into like comic books and that type of field, I just can't help but admire and respect the guy for doing that. It shows that he really does care about this series, and he wants to give us the fans and give himself um, a really good ending to this series. And I am hoping once the series is, once this whole blood war separation arc is finished, I'm hoping that they will come back with the anime or OVAs or something to give us that in animated form. Because I really want to see some of the fights that happen animated, because there's some really cool stuff that happened in the Quincy Invasion arc. So what did I think about the Quincy Invasion arc? Well, like I said, I liked it a lot. Really, some really cool stuff happened. I like how the new villain was the Quincy King, Juhabak. Although that's not his real name, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his real name because it's German, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really good with German names. Like, it's so much I'm into, and trying to pronounce Japanese names and Chinese names and Korean names are like enough, and then you throw German stuff in there, it's like, yeah. So I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but it sounds pretty cool. Like, it looks like a pretty cool name just by looking at it. But yeah, Juha Bach was a really cool villain, and still is. Like, I like how he came in unexpectedly and he just owned pretty much Soul Society. I mean, this felt like a real war, unlike the previous arcs. Like, this felt like shit was going down because everybody's Bankai was getting stolen. Like, higher ups were getting killed off, including Captain Commander himself, which was like a big shocking moment. Like, I didn't think he was gonna kill him off. Like, I knew he was maybe gonna get hurt, but I didn't think Kubo was gonna kill such a major character off. And it seems like he's dead for good. Like, I'm hoping that's the case because he got pretty fucked up, and he got chopped in half. And I was like, and I'm just like, yeah, please be dead. Just keep him dead. And not only that, if he came back, his Bankai was stolen by Juhabak. So there's that. But I loved how we finally got to see his Bankai, and it had like different states, and how his Bankai was like basically it was like all of the heat from his sword was repressed in the sword when he did his Bankai, and he basically when it touched something it just completely evaporated, and I was like, that's awesome. And then it had like a, like I said, different states, the east, the west, and stuff like that, and I thought that was great. And he pretty much explained it that uh, his sword is so hot that it's the same temperature as the sun. He said, think of my body as the embodiment of the sun. And it was even affecting like the other members' Bankai, like Hitsugaya. His Bankai was like melting because Captain Commander's Bankai was so hot that Soul Society was literally going to be evaporated if he kept going. I don't even think he used the full power of his heat, because if he did, if it really does burn as hard as the sun, like instantly things would be gone, like evaporated, like. And I think he was holding back even till the end, because if he did go all out, people would be killed off, just from his sheer power. But yeah, the way he went out, I thought was really cool. How Juhabak had like a replacement that wasn't really him, and then he actually showed up, and he just completely kills Captain Commander in a really brutal way. And I thought that was really well done. One thing I do want to see is their previous fight, like Captain Commander and Juhabak's fight in the past, because I really want to know, like I really want to see like a flashback to see what exactly started this whole. Well, we did kind of get that in the Inshin flashback, Ichigo's dad, when he told Ichigo about his mother and all that. So we kind of get a sense of what started the war between the Shinigami and the Quincy. But I really want to see the fight that they had in the past, Captain Commander, Yamamoto, and Juhabak's fight in the past. And so yeah, the Quincy invasion arc was awesome, but some things I didn't like about it is some characters should have been killed off, like Bakia. That's another major character I think should be dead. I mean, the way he got hit by his own attack, dude should have been dead. I don't know why he's still alive, but he should have been gone. Like they said, he was like in a really bad state, to the point where he's almost like paralyzed. So, and then we find out he's still alive, and I'm like, that's disappointing, because the way he was supposedly going to be killed off would have been cool. I think that would have been a great way to kill that character off. But he's still alive, and we have to deal with that. And some other characters were badly hurt. Renji, Rukia, they were badly hurt during the war. Like it just felt like a really, really fucked up like war, and I like that a lot. Another thing that I like was we got introduced to the Royal Guard / Zero Squad, the Zero Squad captains, and they are really, really funny and really, really cool, and you can tell that they're going to be just overpowered or just extremely powerful. I wouldn't say OP, but they're going to be extremely powerful, and I'm hoping that they're not just going to be there. I'm hoping that Kubo didn't just introduce these characters just to have them be like, I don't know, training characters for Ichigo and the others. Like I want to see them actually I want to actually see them fight in the final war with the Quincy's, because if you're going to introduce these higher up characters, you got to be able to show off their powers and whatnot. I think my favorite so far out of them is surprisingly God of the Sword, Namiya. At first I didn't like him because he was like a stereotypical black character. He reminded me of Killer Bee from Naruto, and a lot of Japanese mangakas really annoy me when they do black characters, because they take their stereotypes and they just run with them, like Choco Love and stuff like that from One Piece, and now Killer Bee from Naruto, and now we have Namiya from Bleach. I mean, Tozen wasn't really besides the fact that he was a villain, he wasn't really a stereotypical black character. Like he didn't act like a a hood rat or something like that. He acted like a character, even though I didn't like what happened to him and what Kubo did with the character. but still he wasn't a stereotypical MTV music video black character, you know. And Namiya was like that, and I was like, I don't like this character. I mean, he may be the one who invented like the Zambactos and stuff like that, and which is cool, but I just don't like his characteristics and stuff like that. But then he had like, but then you know we see his true personality because he's like hiding who he really is to put on like a facade. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And we see like when he takes his sunglasses off, and he's like, oh, he's a completely different person. This is who he really is. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to seeing more of that from him. And the other Royal Guard characters are like awesome as well. We don't get to really see what they can do. We just seen some of them train with Renji, Ichigo, and Rukia. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do besides what we've been shown so far. And I really want to see, you know, the whole thing with the Spirit King or Soul King. I want to see that dealt with. I want to see the stuff with the Vizards, because they're now, you know, they're part of the Goethe 13 again. So I'm wondering why. Like, that's another thing they should have explained, is why did they come back? Because before, you know, Soul Society had pretty much banned them, and now they're back in line with Soul Society. I guess the fact that they helped out with Aizen, and they saw that, you know, maybe we need to change some rules and stuff like that and be more accepting of other races and the Goethe 13. Like the Goethe 13 is going through like a, I don't know. It's kind of like a racial thing almost, like, you know, accepting in new types of races into our society. That's what I got from it, even though it wasn't explained like that. But that's what I got from the whole Vizards being part of the Goethe 13. The Fullbrings are back. They didn't really show them much, but they're back because they were human. So when they were killed off, they just kind of came to Soul Society, excuse me, and so they're gonna help out with, you know, the final fight, and they're gonna be on the Soul Society side, or it seems that way. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do in this whole thing. Another thing that kind of disappointed me was the whole Zaraki versus Unohana fight. Because Zaraki got pretty much owned. That was another shocking moment when he got his ass beat. I was like, God damn, he got owned. Because Zaraki is usually, you know, on his A game. But this time, he got owned. No matter how powerful he was before, he was pretty much, you know, a powerful guy in a little pond. And now he's fighting guys who are powerful in a big ocean. So, you know, he just was pretty much outmatched. And I really thought that was cool that Kubo would do that to such a popular character, show him getting his ass kicked. But then, you know, the training, first of all, the whole training thing to the death was kind of stupid, because why would you have them fight to the death when you're in the middle of a war? Because you don't know when the Quincy's can come back and attack. They could have came back at any moment when they were doing their training and just completely obliterated Soul Society. And Kenpachi and Unohana, they would have just been down there training and not knowing what's going on. So I thought that was kind of foolish to do that. But another thing is, Unohana, we don't really get to know. We get brief glimpses of her flashback, or her backstory in a flashback. But I still don't feel like I know the character. Like, and I don't know what the hell her Bankai was. Was it blood? I mean, I don't know what the heck it was. Like, Kubo, that's another step back. That's another hiccup. He really didn't do a good job of fleshing out her backstory and her Bankai and just her character in general. Like, I feel like I still barely know her. Only thing we found out was that, in truth, she was a bloodluster. She was a bloodlusting fighter. You know, and she used to be kind of a bad guy in the past, which is interesting. But I want to know more about her and exactly what the hell her powers are, what her Bankai is. So yeah, I was really disappointed with that, and I don't understand how Kenpachi got stronger. I mean, we do kind of get a glimpse that he knows that he's going to find out the name of his sword, his Zanbato, which is going to be interesting. And we get some ideas that he's, you know, not the first Kenpachi Zaraki, which is a little weird because I'm like, okay, what's the first Kenpachi? What the hell does that mean? And apparently there was another guy who was named that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's gonna be. Like I hope that gets fleshed out because I want to know more about it, and I want to know if Kenpachi is gonna get his Bankai, which would be awesome because I think everybody's been wanting to see that. So yeah, I want to see that fleshed out, and really, that's about it concerning things that I really want to see. Like I said, I want to see the whole thing with the Spirit King, Soul King thought out. I'm really looking forward to seeing like what Ishida's gonna do because I get the feeling Ishida is on Juhabak's side to get information. Like he's not really joining the group, and because Juhabak pretty much said he named him his next era. I mean his next, um, the next king of the Quincy's. And I'm wondering if he's just using Ishida. Well, they're kind of. I'm wondering if they're kind of using each other. If Juhabak is using him because he wants his body, because maybe something to do with his current body is like deteriorating or something like that. And I'm wondering if Ishida is using Juhabak to possibly unlock some power that he hasn't concerning the Quincy's, because that would be interesting. But if he's really gone to the dark side, that'd be such a weird turnaround because Ishida's always said he doesn't really like the Shinigami, but I always thought that was more of just, I don't know. I don't think he really hated the Shinigami. It was just more of just him kind of hiding who he really was, type of a thing. And I'm hoping that that's what it's going to be instead of just him actually going to the dark side. So yeah, that's something I want to be explained. The backstory on Inshin, Ichigo's father and his mother, ended up being a Quincy, which I kind of figured. I liked a lot. I really did. But there was a hiccup because supposedly Ichigo's Zanpato and the character that we saw inside his mind, Zangetsu, was actually Juhabak in the past. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, he needs to explain that because I'm like, so that's actually Juhabak from the past. I don't understand that. Like, that was so weird. I don't understand what Kuwa was trying to say with that. But yeah, that whole thing needs to be explained a little bit more, and hopefully it comes out more in this final arc, separation arc. Because that's another thing I want concerning Ichigo. Ichigo has to have more powers, first of all. He can't keep spamming the same technique. Because I got really sick of that. Because that's all he can do. Besides transform into like a full hollow and stuff like that. And he got some full brain powers. And now supposedly he has Quincy powers. I want to see like an amalgam of all that stuff. The Quincy powers, the Shinigami powers, the full brain powers, and just see him make some type of new techniques. I'm really hoping that he learns how to use keto spells as well, considering he's training with the Zero Squad Royal Guards, because one of them I think is like the progenitor of the keto spells. So I'm wondering if he's going to learn some of that as well, or maybe he'll learn to throw out Zero Blast on his own, or something like that. That would be interesting. But I don't know. I really did like the backstory on Inshin. I like how he explained what the heck Ichigo was turning into. Like when he went hollow, we got to see how that came about. Aizen was the one. Aizen, Tozen, and Gen were the ones who invented. They were doing experiments on hollows, and one of them got inside Ichigo's mother, and when she gave birth to Ichigo, that blood from the hollow, I think his name was Black, got inside the infant Ichigo, and then that's why he has those powers. And I like that a lot. I like that he explained that a lot. But when he saved Ichigo's mother, when Inshin saved Ichigo's mom, he lost some of his Shinigami powers, and I want to see that come back. I hope his Shinigami powers do come back. That'll be interesting. And I also like the fact that uh, we got this kind of father-son bond relationship going on, because for the most part, it just seemed like he kind of kept his distance from Ichigo, and it wasn't that. It was just that he didn't want to tell Ichigo until the right moment, and I thought that was pretty well done. As concerning like character stuff, I thought that was pretty, well thought out. So for the most part, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to some awesome battles. I'm looking forward to seeing some new techniques, some Bankais we haven't seen before from certain characters. But another thing is, if the Quincy's can now steal Bankai, they're gonna have to come up with other ways to fight the Quincy. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Cause a lot of the captains got their Bankai stolen. Like Hitsugaya, got his stolen, so he's training in some type of other methods. It's gonna be really fun to see what type of fights, more unique fights that come up in the series besides just sword fights. Because that's another thing about Bleach that kind of disappointed me is it just came down to sword fights, and I wanted to see a little bit more uniqueness in this series concerning the fights and the action and whatnot. I'm trying to think of is there anything else I want to talk about that I want to see. I just want to see the series wrapped up in a nice bow and without so many questions answered. I don't want the series to end on a cliffhanger. I want to see Ichigo much more mature, focused, and go out there and kick some ass. I don't want to see him unsure of himself. He should be very sure of himself now. He's about to graduate high school. He's a senior, and he's been through a lot through this whole Quincy War, Blood War thing. So I want to see him become like a man in this final arc. Oh yeah, Aizen. I'm pretty sure Aizen's gonna show up again, but I don't want him to be like a major player. Like I can see Aizen coming back and working with Juha Bach, and maybe like they'll betray each other or something like that. Because Juha Bach did visit Aizen when he was like being locked up in jail and whatnot, and he said if you wanted to join me, you can. And Aizen supposedly turned it down, and Juha Bach's like, well, you can sit for all eternity and think about your decision, because you could have joined me and been one of my most powerful weapons in this war. So I'm really interested to see if Aizen escapes, what's he gonna do, whose side he's gonna be on, and stuff like that. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Grimjaw, because Grimjaw is back now. Again, that's a hiccup, because I think he should have been killed when he was killed off by Nightiora. I think that's how you say his name. That forgetting the names of those things. Not Vizars. What are they called? The Espada. One of the Espadas. When he pretty much put a sword, like an axe, through him, and he was pretty. I thought Grimjaw was dead. People kept saying, "Oh, Grimjaw's still alive," and I'm like, no. But since he is in fact back, I'm wondering what he's gonna do. If he finds out that Aizen is alive, is he gonna try to kill Aizen or what? That's gonna be interesting. I want to see what's gonna happen. I want to see Orihime and Chad actually do something in this arc. I want to see them mature as well. I don't want to see Orihime being all Ichigo, Kurosaki-kun, all that shit. I want to see her actually become a woman and do something besides just heal people. And the same thing with Chad. I want to see Chad do some really cool stuff. And that's pretty much it. I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping that this ends well. I was actually thinking about doing Bleach chapter reviews for the final arc, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to commit to that, because I'm not going to be able to. And everybody on this channel is very busy. Rodney's busy. He's working 2 jobs. I'm busy. Everybody's busy. So chapter reviews are just not gonna happen. I would like to actually do them, but I can't because work and all of that. So what I will do is, when the series is done, just hopefully I can get together with some people on here, maybe some members on Anime Real Talk, and talk about what we thought about the ending. And that should be about it. So that's my thoughts on Bleach. I'm looking forward to the ending, and what are you guys looking forward to most from the final arc in Bleach? And that will be the end of this video, and I'm out. Peace.